of Press Review. My name is Chidimma Orangwa.
And I'm Ajuluchuku Okamwe, saying a blessed morning to you all.
All right, we are going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we introduce our guests who are already seated in the studio with us this morning to help us analyze what we have on our papers. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. And our guests this morning are Ifeanyi Obiora. Ifeanyi is a public affairs analyst. Glad to have you on the show, Ifeanyi.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. We also have Comrade Emeka Freedom Akubuilo. He is a public affairs analyst. Comrade, good morning.
My pleasure. Thank you, viewers.
All right, quickly, we are going to start with what we have on our website, ABS website this morning. The very first story we have there, soil cement stabilization ongoing on Okozo Omunya Road project. Anambra State government urges residents to observe fire safety protocols. Anambra State government suspends subvention to Nielsen over salary arrears. Mr. Soludo assists to rehabilitate ex-tennis champion found wandering streets of Oka. Okay, we have quite a number of stories there on our website this morning. So let's quickly start with you, Ifeanyi. The story is trending on our website this morning. Which one would you want to talk about?
I think I will be picking the Anambra State government urges residents to observe fire safety protocols.
Okay.
So, you know, we've had series of fire outbreak in Anambra State of recent. I think we had one that happened in Oka, behind the Ekoka market. We had another one that happened in Northia sometime last week. It was before the weekend. So, and it's becoming an alarming rate when it comes to this fire issue. So Anambra State government try to tell citizens that because most times when people leave their houses, like when it comes to the fire outbreaks that happen in houses, you see people will not turn off their gas well. And gas is a high explosive. And if it's not turned off well, it could lead to anything. Even on our switches, when you have naked switches, you should, you know, make sure you call the electrician to fix it, because all those things are things that current passes and any slight stuff, it's boom, it blows off. And also, I think people should have fire extinguishers in their houses also, so should in case there's a fire outbreak like this, before you're calling on the fire service, at least you could do your own little thing, use your fire extinguisher and quench it over. You know, people don't take this thing serious, but it's something that Anambra citizens or people that stay in Anambra should do, because before the fire guards, brigades will come, at least you've done your own part before they are coming on board. So that's part of the safety measures that we should take in our states to preserve our houses and our offices. So.
All right, Comrade Ifeanyi. Sorry, Rebecca.
Emeka Freedom. All right. Particularly, I would every of the headline on the ABS website, the concerns of the state currently, and these are things that should be looked into. But particularly, I want to talk about the soil cement stabilization, you know, ongoing at the Okozo Omunya road project. Now, all around the state, and particularly in the capital city, you could see that a lot of projects are going on, and the state is taking a new phase, and which means that the government is equal to his task, and also doing his best to make sure that, first of all, the road facilities are available there for people to access, and especially, you know, when we talk about projects like this going on, along the express. You know, it facilitates movement and also improves the movement of goods from one point to the other. You could see that there are times when places in the express, on the express, when you're traveling, you get to see where trailers are falling by the side and a lot of things going on the road. But with this project, we are seeing it as a project that will improve a lot of things and will also encourage investors to come into the state and do invest and improve the economy of the state. So that's it.
All right, thank you so much. What do you have to say about the ex-tennis champion found wandering in the streets of Oka?
Okay, I came across that news, and she represented, I think, Anambra State. That was in the 90s.
So US-based
Yes, US,
table
she's a half
tennis.
caste.
Yes.
So I think the mom is
From Belarus.
Yes, a Belarusian lady, but the dad is of Igbo extraction. So it's kudos that the first lady of Anambra State, Her Excellency Mrs. Nonye Soludo, had to wade in because the video was posted on X.
Yes.
It was posted on X, and the lady was seen wandering the streets of Oka. I think she was wounded on her leg also, if I'm not wrong. So it's something, the problem we have in Nigeria is this. Our sports stars or our sportsmen and women are not really taken care of. So it's just like, it's a situation whereby when you finish representing the state or the country, later you're forgotten. Oh, it's done. So that's why you see, okay, I think there was one that there were some instances of ex-football stars that were sick, and they had to do fundraising so they could get them treated and the rest of them. But I think our society, the Nigerian society, should establish a fund scheme for these ex-sportsmen and women that did extremely well in our country. So this fund scheme should be like a way that, it's like a pension, because in sports, we know there's no pension, but the difference with the Western world and here is that even after you're done playing sports, there are still some other things that they used to keep you engaged so that you remain relevant in the system. But here, when you're done, everybody forgets about you. So if they establish this fund scheme, it could help. Should, in case there is a star that is, sick or anything, they could use it to fund them and do things. So we won't be having this situation that is ongoing now in the country that was possible. Kudos to Her Excellency for wading into this.
Yes, kudos to Her Excellency and also the Commissioner for Women Affairs for what they have done so far to see how they can rehabilitate this young lady. And again, this will serve as a deterrent to a lot of young people that are into drugs now, because I read the whole story and I noticed that she's now an addict. She said she lost the mother and she's yet, she's still in pains and all that. So she resorted to taking drugs, and this is the end result of it. So it's a deterrent to young people to know how to manage their pains. Taking drugs or doing drugs cannot do anything for you. It will not, rather it will damage you further. So you just need to ask for help if need be. So let's quickly go over to our first paper under review this morning.
And the first paper for review this morning is the Daily Sun. Banner headline there saying crack in ECOWAS, Mali, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso pull out. And then the writer says, claim regional body has become threat to member states. And move, shocking, they've not written us, says Commission. Edo Guba, APC warns Oshumole state chapter against vetting aspirants. NDLEA declares ex-beauty queen wanted over illicit drugs. Ex-militant negotiator proposes 30-day plan to reduce insecurity. And we also have 70% of Nigeria's food products rejected abroad. That's coming from NAFDAC. Vehicle dealers cry out over inflation. And the writer says transportation costs to skyrocket, they want. Beg federal government for waiver. Mango killings. What we want Speaker Abbas to discuss with Tinubu, that's the rep speaking there. Diri decries arming non-state actors at elections. Call on NNPP leaders to join APC, Ganduje, determined to end politics of bitterness, says Aid. And then we have the Sun Award places more obligations on us. That's coming. That's Governor Mba of Enugu saying that. And then Tinubu playing politics, not governance. SDP presidential candidate Adebayo saying that. Quickly, crack in ECOWAS, Mali, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso pulls out. What's your take on that, comrade?
The first time we are having this kind of headline on the newspaper. There was a time these two countries were suspended. They were suspended, and this time we are having them to pull out of the ECOWAS. And for us to reiterate, we should understand that ECOWAS, particularly when we talk about ECOWAS, it is about the economy of the state concerned.
Yeah.
You understand? And whatever might have led to them pulling out of the ECOWAS, it is best known to them. You understand? Particularly if Nigeria, as a member of the ECOWAS, the 15 countries that are involved in the ECOWAS, now decides to pull out of the ECOWAS. We shouldn't be looking at it from the point of them pulling out. But at their detriment, are there things that are not being benefited as a country in that particular, where you belong? It happens in organizations and several places where we want to belong, and if my interests are not being met, then I don't have anything to play there. Of course, it's just 15 countries. So what happens to the numerous countries that are in West Africa? So we should look at it from that point. That's my take.
That's good. Even as shocking as it is, the member countries are saying, ECOWAS as a body, they're saying that these countries have not even written to them.
To them.
So probably this might just be some form of rumor.
Yeah.
Quickly, let's look into this issue of transportation costs may soar, as that's car dealers really begging, because even without even the government intervention, we already, you understand, crying. Movement from one place to the other. When you talk about the cost of maintaining a vehicle and then the cost of fueling, we just read about roads being constructed. When you sum up all of these things, it all adds to that pinch Nigerians feel in moving services and humans from point A to point B. And they're saying that they need governments to come in with waivers in order to cushion the effect they are facing. Sincerely speaking, how best do you think that can really work, in your opinion?
This transport stuff, like when you see that headline, it's saying transportation costs to skyrocket, and it's vehicle dealers over inflation. So you see that the problem we're having is the forex. Once the forex is not stable, we'll keep having inflation. I think the current inflation rate of Nigeria now should be around 28.92%. And as of just December last year, before the Christmas, it was around 28 point, I think that was around 28.74% or thereabouts. So now it's 92%. And if this forex, we're having this dwindling. As of this morning, I saw the news that the dollar now is exchanging for 1,500. So you see, if you keep doing this, and when I import a vehicle yesterday at probably 3 million naira, and
the same
vehicle, I'm coming tomorrow. Let's even leave tomorrow. I'm coming today now, being Monday, to order for that vehicle. Next thing they tell me, sir, you can't get it at 3 million naira again. It's now 3.5. So you see, if I'm a car dealer, I have to sell this. Probably yesterday, I told you this car is worth 3.5. You came the following day, I tell you, okay, it's now 4 million naira. So you see, by the time these whole things happen, now who is it falling at the end point? We, the masses. Because when these guys buy the car, like the transport companies buy these cars at that high rate, they have to increase the pricing of their transport. Again, fuel. The fuel, it's something challenging. Because before we used to buy fuel at, I think during Buhari's regime, it was 200 something,
165, 195, so yes.
200 there about. So, but now, look at the fuel today. We are buying at 6 something, 680, some people are selling 700.
700,
so you see, all these things are part of the challenges. So if federal government, because we can't call the state government now, because when it comes to the fuel, the oil is the federal government. So if the federal government could know, they said the Port Harcourt refinery is going to start production. We're still waiting on it. Dangote has started production, but is yet to release his stocks in the market. And what he's even producing for now is not a PMS. What he's doing for now is Argo, that's diesel, and jet fuel. So this is what is coming out. So you see, we don't even know when PMS, and it's PM. Most of these cars we use on the road are PMS.
Yes.
So these are the things federal government need to look into, and the CBN, the monetary policy, they need to, stabilize this forex. So we will not have an unstable market. Let's have a stable market in our forex, like South Africa and some other African countries. I need to help our businesses to strive. So that's what I feel about this.
Thank you. To add to what he said,
I think there was this G20 conference that was held in India. Was it in India or Italy? I think it was in India, in September 2023.
It was in India.
Now there was this, Nigeria of course is not a member, but based on their affiliation with the African Union, they were able to be part of them. There were just about 20 countries, but because of Nigeria's presence in the African Union. Now there was this promise, or was it a kind of a promise the president of Nigeria made, that there will be a CGN mass transit vehicle that will be provided for Nigerians. Now this is the problem with our country.
Yeah, the CNG
now,
compressed
the CNG, compressed natural gas. Now it's like a public transport that the government is bringing for the people to find transportation easy. Now, from then till now, that news has not repeated.
Please, have you seen anyone? Because I've not entered anyone.
So that's one of the problems. So, but if things like these are implemented, you would see that the people would now see that the government are working and life is made easy.
All right, quickly, let's go over to the next paper, and that's the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The banner headline is still talking about the crack in ECOWAS, but we have it as Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger pull out of ECOWAS. That's a big story in the front page of Vanguard. And we have riders there. We are ready for negotiated solution. ECOWAS Commission, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger on suspension from ECOWAS presidency. It's a serious diplomatic meltdown. This is coming from former presidential aspirant Atiku. And up there we can see federal government inaugurates minimum wage committee tomorrow. Corruption governance responsible for insecurity, banditry in North. This is coming from the Vice President Shetima. Feni Ferrer expresses worry over upsurge in kidnapping in Southwest orders. Insecurity, we are taking fight to criminals then. Federal government is saying that. And then down there, forest crisis, high import duties, depressed vehicles over other imports. CAF picks Osimhen for random drug test. That's what we have on the sport segment there. If Tinubu misses this opportunity, Nigeria is gone. Pa Adebanjo. Okay. Well, interesting stories on the front page of Vanguard this morning. Let's look at, we've talked about Burkina Faso and Mali pulling out, and we've talked about the forex crisis. Now, let's look at this statement from the Vice President, saying corrupt governance responsible for insecurity, banditry in the North. Coming from a Vice President of a country, I mean, is this supposed to be a cheering news for us to listen, to hear, or to read about this morning? Why telling us that? Who are the people in power?
The problem we have in this country is that our leaders, most times, they run away from responsibilities. It's in Nigeria here where we always drop all these political statements. If a kidnap happens, okay, the other day, Wike said that politicians are responsible for the kidnap ongoing in Abuja.
So it means they are responsible
for
for
a politician.
Because you are a politician.
So if you are saying this corruption is responsible for this thing in the North, you are a politician, you are the Vice President, the second man in power. So why don't you liaise with your principal and you get these people to book? This is what we've been hearing from the Jonathan administration to the Buhari administration. Now, this is a new dispute. How long do we want to keep doing this? So I don't know.
Well, maybe it's because of that statement that the federal government said that they are taking fight to criminals then.
That's what they keep saying. They take the fight. The other day they took the fight and they bombed civilians' houses.
Exactly. And adding to this, you would see that this is a statement of generalization. If he had said certain parastatals in the government are responsible for this, it would be a different thing altogether. They will know where to point at. But this, he said, corrupt governance. So he is included in whatever he's saying. And I was making a statement one time with the current youth leader of Anambra State, the president of Comrade Ken Okoli, and I told him that I see Nigeria problem as a project. Nigeria problem should not be seen as just a problem that can be solved. That if we want to start taking care of the problem of the country, then we have to break them into chunks of projects. Do you understand? Now, these chunks of projects will have people who have the mastery of fixing them. But if we keep saying government is the problem and government is the problem, now what are we holding at? To say we want to start from here, we want to start from there. So without that, then we don't see ourselves getting anywhere.
Okay. CAF. Let's talk sports. I know you guys like sports. The CAF saying they are going to
I read that particular
headline.
Yes.
He laughed.
Okay.
And I knew why he laughed.
Oh yeah.
And
Definitely they are bringing Osimhen for
test.
drug test.
Yes.
Probably because of his strength. When you watch Osimhen play, like since if you be following up with the African Nations Cup when he's playing, there's this
The energy
this view this guy
is
has.
dogmatic.
Like he wants to show the world that really he's the African best player. You understand? Like the last match we had with Cameroon, that assist
Yes,
he gave
yes.
to Lookman.
Lookman, yes.
It was a wonderful one. So, but it's not they could pick him up and still test him, you know. And I believe he's going to come out negative.
No, it's a normal thing for them to
sports,
go
so-
through that process.
Yes.
And of course, after going through the process, is an added glory to whoever. Because I believe this. If you look at his story, I've been opportune to watch some of his documentary, and you would see how very dedicated and the guy is really into his football career. So he has put all his all in making sure that he makes something out of it. So let him go on with it. It's fine.
It's a welcome idea.
Yeah.
Well, CAF, you can go on testing Osimhen for as much as you can. But then let's go to the next paper we have for review, which is the Punch newspaper. And the banner headline is screaming, kidnapping epidemic, tracking device shortage, hindering police probes. That's coming from sources. And then the writer there says, death of tracking devices causes delays in investigations. Arrest abductors, says investigators. NDLEA declares beauty queen wanted, nabs Brazil returnee. Naira, manufacturers plan general price hike. Osun prince detained after US-based prof's murder. 40 trillion naira local government allocation diverted by governors. That's coming from SERAP. And we also have here, federal government appoints 6 governors to minimum wage panel. IRS demands Achimugo's tax returns after lavish birthday. That's all we have on the front page of the Punch. Wow. Kidnapping epidemic, tracking device shortage, hindering police probe. Sometimes I don't understand the sources of these headlines, as in something as minute as tracking device could be hindering police from this issue of kidnapping that has become an epidemic in this part of the world. In a country like Nigeria. And now you begin to wonder, this same Nigeria police force, they are one of the most revered in the world. United Nations mission and the rest of it. The Nigerian police was even chosen to bring up the police force in Kosovo after the war. So if these people go outside and act in distinctions, so what's stopping them from replicating the same in this country?
You know one thing, if you look at this headline, most times when things are said, you don't look at them the way they are said. They said kidnapping epidemic, tracking device hinders police probe. Now, we are talking of tracking device. and it all boils down to mechanical stuff.
Of course.
Now, how many did your country produce? Let's start from there. Because sometimes you understand that
These things are okay. They said shortage of that particular stuff. So how many are we producing as a country? And that is why our inflation keeps, skyrocketing.
now looking at this,
Talking about the devices being on shortage,
you will see that the budget that was signed for this particular shortage
can even afford more. But whoever was giving this project to handle, at the end of the day, would just come up with something very funny.
That's compromising the lives of Nigerians.
Exactly.
Corrupt governance.
That's why I talked about project. Now, how much, if I am given a responsibility to handle certain, let me say, media in Anambra State, now who am I accountable to? We are giving this project, they are approved, but the accountability is zero. Who you are accountable to and how they check the facts, check if these things are carried out the way they are supposed to be carried out. It's not carried out the way it's supposed to be. So that's where the problem comes from. So Nigeria, we need to start looking at places where, apart from talking about we producing our own devices is a story for another day. But we are talking about them making sure that people who are
given the responsibility of incurring some of these things, after incurring them, are they checked? Are they enough based on the issue on ground?
Well, let's see what the governors of the federal government, the 6 governors that have been appointed to look into the minimum wage panel. Sincerely speaking, I don't think governors really fit the bill to, be the one to, talk about minimum wage, because most of these governors don't even pay the minimum wage.
That's the next thing you have to check. They don't even pay it.
They don't pay it. So why would they be the one that will say?
Is it even about the minimum wage? Is it about reviewing it? If they like, they should make minimum wage 100,000 naira. The problem is that Nigeria has to move from a consumption-based economy to a production-based economy. Because we keep review. Okay, let them review it and make it 100,000. Okay, I give them 6 months or 1 year or extra 2 years, they will still come back for another review. So that's not a problem.
Come to think of it, how many states are paying
That's the
30,000?
question.
Exactly.
How many states are paying that?
Even that
As
30,000.
as delicate as security job, they pay them 15,000 in some quarters.
So probably, maybe the reason why they involve the governors is for them to say the need to pay the civil servants the minimum wage. I'm just saying.
Yes, and I'll later want to
because they're not going to be the only people in that committee.
No, they're not. The Nigerian Labour Congress
Yes.
is there. What I want to do is later, I want to go and see, later I'll have to research on it and see the 6 governors that were brought on board. Let me now check their states and see, are they paying their own minimum? Because if you are bringing someone that he has not paid minimum wage in his own state, sitting on board, you should know that meeting will never, every day they will be adjourning the meeting. So,
All right, let's quickly see what we have on the front page of The Nation, right? We've just finished Punch. Let's see The Nation. Really, it's still about the new minimum wage. Hope rises for workers. 37 members, the tripartite panel to negotiate. That's what we have on the front page of Nation. And then we have sanctioned Mali, Burkina Faso, okay, within ECOWAS. Then Jimo Ibrahim takes Tinubu's renewed hope message to 203 Ondo words. You can see the pictures there. I mean, they are the people that bought the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. So quickly, let's also see what we have in The Guardian so that we match them together. The Guardian, we are still talking about the fallout trade, security concerns as Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso exit ECOWAS. Account for over 40 trillion naira allocations to FCT, councils, Sarab tells governors. US-based professor shot dead in Osun after party. Mob kills gunmen. Petrol trading lifts NNPC profit to $2.7 billion, right? Saudi Aramco declares $161 billion. Beware, COVID infections of fatalities still on the prowl. NRC announces return of Kano Lagos train service. Okay, these are what we have on the front page of The Guardian this morning.
So, I'll just let me go back to Nation newspapers. Jimo Ibrahim.
Okay, taking this.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll just look at this Jimo. So Jimo Ibrahim is preaching the Tinubu's renewed hope. I don't know if you all know who Jimo Ibrahim is. Jimo Ibrahim is a billionaire.
Yeah, yes.
It's when I know that's when he used to be among the top 10 richest guys in this country. So he ran for governor of Ondo State one period and lost, but currently I think he's a senator now. So he's definitely preaching the renewed hope agenda. So the only thing I would just have to advise Jimo is that if they have the opportunity to talk with Mr. President, they should just advise him on this opportunity he has. Because he said, hey, Milokon, it's my turn. And finally, his turn has come. So, what do this is not a renewed hope we were yearning for, of dollar. I'm sorry, he built Lagos, but what we are seeing now, is this how they want to build the Nigeria? The dollar is now 1.5, inflation is on the rise. So, they should tell him, Oga, this is the best opportunity for you to write your name with a golden pen in Nigerian history book. Because Tinubu, definitely I know, he has good intentions for Nigeria, but he has to sit on the drawing table with intellectuals and not sycophants. Because the problem we have in our Nigerian politics is sycophancy everywhere. Even when you are doing it wrong, instead of them to tell you, Oga, see, they say, you're the best man. You're the best man. But when he goes to his house, he will be telling his wife, that man, they don't even know what to do. Otherwise. So I think, Jimo, it's not a crime, him preaching the renewed hope. He's in APC, and that is what he's supposed to do. And we have to keep giving Nigerians hope, because one thing I believe is I've never lost hope in the Nigerian project. I believe that Nigeria someday, I don't know how long it will take, but I know that someday Nigeria will rise. So that's just my belief on that.
Is that a prayer prophecy? Amen. Okay. Let's also see this story coming from a minister that the federal government economic reforms, that is on front page of the Nation too, federal government economic reforms yielding results. Please, Emeka, can you kindly point out economic reforms yielding results? No,
by the left,
yes,
right-hand side, there's a picture.
Nation newspaper. Please, comrade, can you kindly point out some of these positive results that these policies have yielded so far?
Okay, let me start by saying, I would give Nigerians the assignment to go and look at the National Bureau of Statistics. I think so far, our government sitting now has the best result. I don't know where they got it from. But the first year in office, I think this is still about 7 months in office, running into 1 year. And his performance in the statistics, as I saw, has been so excellent. Now, talking about the reforms yielding results, I don't really know where to start from. I don't really know where to start from. Okay, but Nigeria, as we know, is a country that has diverse people with diverse interests. We're talking about different states, if you understand. And the government that came in, particularly, I think they don't have a particular sector that has been picked that they want to focus on. Now he came in and started talking about the oil. Before you knew it, the oil subsidy was removed. And the oil subsidy removal originally was meant to improve the performance of the country. Now, but at the end of the day, what are we seeing? We're seeing a lot of people crying about, the cost nature of things and all that. So I need them to really prove to me where the results are being yielded. We need to be cleared on that particular.
All right. In the front page of Guardian, we can also see the story where Serap is telling governors that they should account for over 40 trillion naira allocations to FCT and cancels. I mean, well, I really don't know how to talk about some of these things we see in the front pages of our papers, We are talking about the economy dwindling. Every day people are hungry in the street and all that. We are talking about 40 trillion naira. Now, you just ask them question. At the end of the day, if they will not even answer, give any
There's no
positive answer
accountability
to Sarah.
and transparency in
I
our
mean,
governance.
the,
But I just wish, there's something I keep wishing every day in the Nigerian state, that the local government system will be revived,
Yes.
come back to life. I wish the local government can have full autonomy.
Okay.
Because this is the government that is closest to the people.
Grassroots.
And I also pray and wish and believe that someday the House of Assembly will have financial autonomy. I think in that way, they can be able to checkmate the excesses of the governors. Because the House of Assembly, I'm sorry to say, in the Nigerian state are puppets to the governors. Because their money is being signed by the governor gives them car, he does. So if you are against the governor, oh, it's a problem. So, but when they have this financial autonomy, I think, I can't be sure of the Nigerian state, but I think it will, create some other avenues for more
Who
accountability.
is going to grant them that? Because the governors like to hold on to that
That's
power.
That's
You
another
understand?
problem.
Because Nigerian democracy seems to be like the only democracy in the world where you see the president, the governors, you understand, exercising
Too powerful.
enormous power.
Yeah.
You understand? Talking about the issue of local government, it is there in the constitution.
Yes.
But who is taking the governors?
They hijacked it.
Who is taking the governors to court?
Nobody.
Who is putting them on that hot seat to make them understand that you guys are violating the constitution, and you swore to uphold the constitution of this country on assumption of office, and yet you're not living up to the basics, the basic responsibility as a
Basic
governor
amenity, yes.
to the masses. What stops you from allowing local governments to run, to have their own autonomy?
The truth
What
of the
stops
matter-
you from making the state function better,
Yes.
so that you have
Yes,
that chain of command and channel
Yeah.
in order to get to know what the masses are talking about?
The problem we have is that if there is no shift in our mindset, if we don't change our mindset, the truth of the matter, everything that we're doing in this country, we keep fooling ourselves.
And beyond that, seeing government as a position of authority, rather than seeing it as
As a position of service.
yes, and also a kind of as an institution where everyone is involved. Because in my family, I am maybe as a father of the house, I am the government of the house. That doesn't count my children out of it. So in a state where everyone belongs, everyone should be counted.
Of course.
So sometimes I see the local government system being withheld because of the control they want to have over that particular.
That's just the thing now. So
which is not
no local
good to
government
me.
elections.
Exactly.
Well, let's not start diving into that anyway.
Well, let's do the next paper we'll have for review, which is the Tribune newspaper and Daily Trust. Quickly, ECOWAS opts for negotiation as Niger Mali. We've seen that. War on Gaza. Our children paying highest price. Well, that sounds bad. And then we have Tinubu to inaugurate minimum wage committee Tuesday. Our security operatives nabbed Nabina's killer, that's police. Explosion kills 6 in Borno. That's what we have there. And then that's all. And let's quickly go to the Tribune. The banner headline is saying ECOWAS shaky as Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso quit. Governors can't fund police. That's coming from Uzodinma. Southwest governors talking with federal government on Amotekun carrying arms. Oyebanji. Committee on minimum wage, we've seen that. US-based lecturer accidentally shot dead in Osun. Again, gunmen kill 8 in Benue. Ibadan explosion. NCE geoscientists to submit report on building integrity tomorrow. How NAS has been violating constitution since 1999. Faced to inaugurate constitutionally approved committee 25 years after. Experts differ on Naira exchange rates floating. And CBN's key projections still premature. That's coming from analysts. And then custom, CG unveils strategies for meeting 2024 revenue targets. Quickly, let's talk about government can't fund state police, and that's coming from Uzodinma. Well, sincerely speaking, governors, I totally disagree with this. You understand? You can't tell me that government can't fund, governors cannot fund, you understand, of the state can't fund state policing. What does it take to fund state policing?
What I see on this is just like what I keep saying and my own take on Nigerian security. I've been an advent supporter of state policing because, see, if we don't create the state policing system, you see this thing we are doing, this federal, it will never give us guaranteed security. Ask me why.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You come to Anambra State, for example. You come to Kano, for example, and you want to put a commissioner of police. You take a man from Anambra and make him a commissioner of police in Kano State. A man that never grew up in Kano, he doesn't know the language, he doesn't even know what is going, the terrain of that environment. And you come down to Anambra and take a man from Ondo and come and make him the commissioner of police in Anambra. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't even understand. I don't see the barriers. So now, if he's even in a beer parlor and there's a discussion of an armed robbery gang that wants to go on, he doesn't know.
Because he doesn't
get the language. So, but by saying you begin to have the state policing, now you know that the majority of the people in the police of Anambra are Anambra indigenous. The commissioner of police is from Anambra. So now, you see, it will reduce this security threat because when he's in a gathering, if they are planning, he hears the language. That's why if you notice, I'm sorry to say, but if you notice, our vigilante groups, to an extent in the community, are more active
I was about to say that
than the police.
I was about to say that.
All right, really don't have time again, please.
Before he concludes, this
Particular statement, I don't think Uzodimma can defend it. Because
Okay.
particularly, talking about state policing, if you look at, there are several parastatals, security bodies that have been created here, even in Anambra State. They are performing better than the police. Today, I no longer see they usually call them yellow fever, the police that do trafficking. Now we have the ATMA. They do it excellently well. You understand? Now, talking about the policing of the state. Now, if we have a state police, I believe that at a point, we can have control and being able to curb the security matters in Anambra State. But when you're talking about talking to, let's say, commissioner of police that takes order from the IG, and when you're talking to me, he said, I don't know who you are. That he can tell the government that,
All right.
and that he loses control over it.
All right, we need to go because we have other things on our Breakfast TV show this morning, and we want to say a very big thank you to our guest, our reviewers this morning, Ifani Obiora. Thank you so much for being part of this. And also Cameron Emeka Freedom Akubilo, thank you for joining us. All right, that's it on Press Review this morning. Thank you so much for being part of it, but we are taking a short break. When we come back, we'll see you at the other side. Stay with us.